thick roots, sculpted canopy, and enough patience to outgrow stress. This is not your average houseplant. This is the Ginseng Ficus, a living sculpture, a steady reminder that the most beautiful things don't grow fast, they grow with purpose. Its swollen base, ancient looking like it rose from stone, anchors not just soil, but attention. You don't water this plant and walk away. You observe, you prune, you wait, and in the waiting, you shift. It thrives under consistency, not chaos. Strength, not force. And unlike other ficus varieties that demand perfection, this one forgives. It lets you return to care again and again. So if life feels noisy, if you need something on your desk, shelf, or spirit that centers you, this plant might be your first step towards stillness. Ficus microcarpa. You've seen it called the Ginseng ficus, the Chinese banyan, the Green Island fig, but its roots reach back farther than any nickname. Native to Southeast Asia, especially India, southern China, Malaysia, the Philippines, and parts of Indonesia, this tree once towered in warm, tropical forests, dropping aerial roots from its branches like ancient ropes reaching for earth. In Taiwan, it was called laurel fig. In Sri Lanka, it was honored for its shade. And in Chinese mythology, it stood as a symbol of stability, of ancestors, of memory, and of roots that never forget where they began. But the name Ginseng ficus is a modern misnomer, born not from biology, but from marketing. In the late 20th century, European exporters, especially from the Netherlands, began shaping young Ficus microcarpa into small bonsai using thickened rootstock. Those swollen roots resembled Panax ginseng, the famed medicinal herb, and the name stuck. Today, this plant is found on office desks in Berlin, in New York apartments, in Parisian cafes. But beneath the trend is a lineage. It belongs to the Moraceae family, cousin to the weeping fig, the sacred Bodhi tree, and even mulberries. In the wild, it can grow 50 feet tall and send down roots from the sky. In your home, it becomes a miniature forest, a living link to tropical ecosystems and global trade history. The Ginseng ficus became popular not because it was easy, but because it was forgiving. Light is everything for a Ficus microcarpa, not just for survival, but for shape, color, and energy flow. Here's how to get it right. The Ginseng ficus thrives in bright, indirect light. That means a few feet back from a south-facing window, right beside an east-facing window, or under a grow light that mimics daylight. It can survive in medium light, but survival is not the goal. Thriving is. In too little light, the plant stretches, creating what we call leggy growth. Internodes lengthen, leaves drop, the canopy becomes sparse, and the bonsai silhouette begins to collapse inward. So how do you know what's right? We use a light range called PPFD, photosynthetic photon flux density. Think of it as a plant's version of food portions. This replicates the dappled tropical light it would naturally receive beneath a forest canopy. Strong but never harsh. If you're using a grow light, 3,000 to 6,000 lux in a 12 to 14 hour cycle is solid. Avoid direct contact with high-heat LED diodes. They'll crisp the leaf edges. If you're relying on windows, south-facing equals best, but use a sheer curtain to soften. East-facing equals ideal for morning light and steady rhythm. North-facing equals supplemental light, may be required in winter. West-facing equals bright, but often too intense during hot months. Watch for scorched tips. Season matters too. In winter, move it closer to the light source as days shorten. In spring and summer, pull it slightly back to avoid overheating the roots in window pots. Watering your Ginseng ficus is not about routine. It's about rhythm. This is a tropical species, but one raised in captivity. That means shallow pots, compacted roots, and limited airflow. So your watering strategy has to honor both its biology and its container. Here's the core rule. Wait until the top 1 to 2 inches of soil are dry. Then water slowly and deeply until water runs from the drainage hole. Don't mist. Don't splash. Don't hover with a teacup. You're aiming to soak the root ball fully without flooding it. If your plant sits in a ceramic bonsai tray, tilt the pot slightly after watering to ensure runoff escapes. Stagnant water, even half an inch deep, can collapse roots in under 48 hours. Repotting isn't just maintenance, it's a reset. And for Ginseng Ficus, it's the key to root health, canopy shape, and long-term strength. Plan to repot every 2 to 3 years, always in early spring, just as the plant exits dormancy. This gives it time to recover and push out new root growth during the active season. Now let's talk soil, because this species doesn't want regular potting mix. It needs structure, drainage, and slow airflow to mimic its natural forest floor and survive shallow bonsai containers. Here's a proven DIY mix you can make at home. 2 parts akadama for moisture balance and root anchoring. 1 part pumice adds oxygen and prevents compaction. 1 part bark or lava rock to promote drainage and mimic native grit, or use a pre-made bonsai blend. Just avoid anything heavy. Pruning isn't just for shape, it's communication. Every cut tells the Ginseng Ficus how to grow, and more importantly, where to stop. This plant responds beautifully to structured pruning, especially when done with rhythm and restraint. During active growth, trim new shoots back to 2 or 3 leaves. This keeps the canopy tight and encourages back budding, where new leaves emerge closer to the trunk, building a denser silhouette over time. Never cut blindly. Always cut just above a node, leaving a small margin. Clean shears only. No crushing. No tearing. Want to shape the canopy? Use directional pruning. Cut just above a leaf, pointing in the direction you want a branch to grow. Avoid wiring thick trunks. Ficus microcarpa has elastic bark and moist inner wood, which means tight wire can dig in fast and scar deeply. Instead, use notch training on older wood or wire young, flexible shoots gently with aluminum. And above all, never prune during dormancy. That's late fall to late winter in most indoor zones. Cuts won't heal, sap flow slows, and infections can spread. Pruning is not punishment. It's permission. You're guiding potential into form, not forcing it. Take a moment. You've already learned more in 6 minutes than most plant parents will ever hear. Now pause and save this moment. We built something for you, a complete expert-backed PDF master guide, just for Ginseng Ficus owners. It includes lighting zone diagram, a seasonal watering calendar, our proven pruning rhythm cheat sheet, and the tool checklist we actually use. No fluff, no upsell. This is the same guide we use with our concierge clients. And now it's yours free. Click the link below to download your copy. And if you want to partner on your plant journey, not just a video, join our Roots and Rose Concierge. We're real people. We answer, and we care like you do. When it comes to pests, the Ginseng Ficus doesn't scream, it whispers. And if you know how to listen, you'll catch the signs early. The most common culprits? Scale, tiny brown or tan bumps that cling to stems like armor. Spider mites, near invisible, but their silky webs on leaf undersides betray them. Mealy bugs, white, cottony clusters usually hiding in branch joints. The best treatment is prevention. Wipe the leaves once a week with a soft cloth, dampened with water or diluted neem oil. This removes dust, pests, and their eggs before they become a colony. If you see signs, act fast. Isolate the plant. Spray with neem oil or an insecticidal soap. Repeat treatment every 5 to 7 days for 3 weeks to catch new hatchlings. Feeding a Ginseng Ficus isn't about pushing growth. It's about strengthening rhythm. This species stores energy in its thickened root base. And to keep that base dense and healthy, you need consistent, measured feeding. Feed once a month, using a balanced liquid fertilizer diluted to half strength. Look for formulas like 10-10-10, equal parts nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, or 3-1-2, which supports steady green growth without overwhelming roots. In spring and summer, growth accelerates. This is your feeding window. Boost frequency to once every 3 to 4 weeks. In fall, reduce to every 6 to 8 weeks or pause entirely. And in winter, stop feeding altogether. Let the plant rest. Let the roots hold still. Overfeeding doesn't make your plant grow faster. Even the most forgiving plants send signals when something's off. Your job is to learn the language. Let's decode the top symptoms you might see in your Ginseng ficus and what they actually mean. Yellowing leaves? Most often, overwatering. Check soil moisture. If the top is dry but the bottom's soaked, you're likely watering too frequently or the pot lacks drainage. Second culprit? Low light. If it's far from the window or tucked in a corner, reposition it. Sudden leaf drop? Drafts and cold shock are common causes, especially if your plant is near a wintry window or AC vent. Ficus doesn't like surprises. Keep it warm and consistent. Leaves curling inward? That's often a humidity drop. Indoor heaters can pull moisture from the air. Consider adding a pebble tray or mini humidifier. A healthy bonsai isn't rushed, it's raised. And the Ficus microcarpa reminds us of this at every turn. This species doesn't demand, it reveals. It shows you what happens when roots are confined and still choose to thrive. When new growth stretches out and you gently guide it back, not to restrict, but to teach it where to go. Every time you wipe its leaves, you're removing more than dust. You're making space for light. And every time you repot, prune, or pause, you're practicing a principle most people overlook. That growth isn't constant. It comes in flushes, then rests. It deepens beneath the surface, long before it ever shows on a leaf. Ficus microcarpa teaches balance between drought and flood, between control and surrender. Subscribe for weekly deep guides, growth tools, and peace you can plant. Join the Roots and Rose Concierge to get plant check-ins, seasonal care kits, and your own expert team. Let your plant reflect your rhythm. Click below for the full PDF, grab the toolkit, and let's grow together.